Yeah, hello and welcome to the Banter Blitz show for tonight, Friday night. Let's get rolling with some games. Okay. Yeah, already had a good show in German. Did I win all the games? I think I did. Okay, low. How do we go? Borrow my coach. Let's start with him. Got white. He's got 2,656. Let's get going. Knight f3, knight f6, g3. I've had this on the board a lot, the fianchetto heavy systems here. I always scored quite well with them. Yeah, black now will very likely commit in some way with pawns. So he's going for a more King's Indian type of position. Okay. This leads to yet a different setup. Yeah, black usually captures on d4 now and goes d5. Yeah, whatever he does, he takes his sweet time for it. Of course, you don't have to do that. I mean, black can play, this for example. Knight d7 is not exactly the kind of move that black should play, but it's not going to lose immediately. Why is that not so great? Because it's very passive. Well, that's very odd what he does here. I mean, b5. You don't get b5 in this position. And if you don't get b5 in, what do you do? Interesting. You can take on e6 en passant, or just play this. This is a really excellent position for white. Knight will come to d3, rook e1, ultimately f4. Black has very, very little counterplay in this position. You can even try to play with knight h4. Yeah, f5 doesn't work anyway. So yeah, I wonder what the best setup is here. Not so easy. Not so easy to determine, what the best setup in this position is. Yeah, okay. It's important to not spend too much time because you're going to be better anyway. So it's often best to simply play good moves quickly and don't overthink things. Yeah, I'm just stopping f5 here. Bishop f6 you can play, but it's not a move that black is super happy about. The bishop on b2 is just wrong, so I'm going to improve it to d2 or e3. It's tough to say what's better. d2 maybe. There's also bishop f3 here. What is that? I'm just on that. You cannot even do it. I mean, it's not like strategically terrible, but it's also just blunders f5. It was a weird move. Okay, everything is excellent here, but I mean, just trading queens is fine. How do we do it? Knight e4, yeah. That's also not too bad. Have a look at all those weak light squares. Okay, that's a funny question. I mentioned in the German show that on that next Wednesday I have an appointment that I will take and not miss and so on. No, I don't have a date there. It also would be fun. No, I'm actually meeting former workmates of mine before I started to do chess exclusively for a profession. I was working in a bank for how many years? It's been a while, 17 years, and we still meet usually twice a year, and it's good fun, always catching up what everybody does, where they work, what they do. And it's I was very unlucky to miss the last, I think, 3 meetings for various reasons. It was just very unlucky. I was everything, yeah. I was sick, I was on vacation, whatever. There were different things, and I absolutely will not miss next Wednesday. It's one of those things that I want to make work. I've been in banking for 17 years, yeah. What's so strange about it? I mean, I'm still working, I'm just not in banking anymore. I mean, I know that it doesn't feel like work if I'm doing chess professionally, or it doesn't sound like work, but it is. I'm putting in many hours, I can tell you. Yeah, and here Boromakot gave me an exchange there. No, there is no black repertoire for d4, e4 for black currently in the works. My next project is keep it simple, 1d4. So Formkrise is the next opponent. No, it's a bit strong to say I didn't like what I did when I was working in the bank. I mean, it's always preferable to do what you love. So it's great that I'm able to do chess, but I didn't really have a bad time in that company. I really cannot say. In particular, it was always a good. We always had good teamwork, I think, and it's just that that's also why I'm happy to meet everybody again. So okay, I have to really focus a little bit there. Queen g3. What do we do there? Taking on e3, right? What am I playing against c3? I think I'm going to e7 is what I somehow that's what I remember, but it looks so odd. Bishop h4, queen f3. Is that right? Oh, it's so weird. It's so weird, all this. Do I have to play bishop d6 first in order to somehow provoke this? Yeah, I don't know. I cannot remember really. Or is that there is a game near Pomiachi Vallejo. I'll be on the road to that. Always difficult. Yeah, it was difficult to transition from a job to chess as a career. Was it difficult? Well, difficult is the wrong word. You just have to do things differently, mostly because you are your own boss, and you have to decide what you want to do, what you need to do, how to do it. You have to schedule differently. That's a difference for sure. But I absolutely have to recommend to everybody, if they have some idea what to do as like, if they have some idea what they want to do that they can do on their own. Yeah, like being an this is a weird word for me, entrepreneur. Is that, I cannot pronounce that correctly. Yeah, like, you know, be your own boss, do your own projects. If you have some idea how to do it, some concept that you think that could work, I would definitely recommend doing it. It is just such a huge difference to being on the receiving end of weird orders, let's say. So if you have some idea what you can do, try it. I mean, with some concepts, of course, and don't blindly try something where you feel, okay, yeah, it should have some business plan and so on. But just think about it. If you feel you can make it work, it's worth trying. Very often it will be worth trying. And a very important small piece of advice: it's not enough to be passionate about it. You have to be good at it. This is something that is very easily confused, I think. Some people feel, I have to do this and that, that's my passion, and that's all nice and good, but if you really have, you need to be good at it. It's at least like decent, yeah? And feel that the service or whatever you're providing, that you can do something that people feel is very useful for them. If you, let's say, you're passionate about, it's tough to say, give an example, but you know that you actually suck at it, then it doesn't make any sense probably. Okay, now what to do? Yeah, ready to go for bishop f5. Yeah, it's an interesting discussion, yeah, that you can always make. Should you do what you're passionate about, what you're good about? It's often the case that if you're good at something, you can actually develop some sort of passion for it. Yeah, everybody is different. Well, it's important that you do your research. Yeah, if you feel like you can do something on your own, you have to really do your research, because very often you simply believe something could work and it is completely impossible to make it work. And sometimes the opposite is true. I mean, I've met so many people who flat out tell me, okay, what you're doing as a job is impossible, it doesn't work. And I can just say, okay, well, I mean, I'm doing it, I know it works. Yeah, and it's not a question if it does or not. I know it works for me. It doesn't mean it has to work for everybody, but it's yeah, it's sometimes weird what you learn, or what you learn is wrong. What kind of statements you get, like you must be crazy doing this and so on. And then I asked him, okay, what are you doing? Yeah, or and then the answer is like, yeah, I'm a tax accountant or something. And I mean, I even doubt that they earn more money than I do, which is very funny, I think, that you get flack from those kind of people. Anyway, let's see. Okay, Formkrise. He tries to drum up some play, understandably, but I should be in good shape. Huh, it doesn't even... That is very true. Yeah, Giovanni says 20 years ago my job wouldn't be possible. That is true. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I did consider that 20 years ago, if chess is an option, but I decided it doesn't work, so I didn't do it. But then, yeah, 5 years ago, it felt like it could work, at least. You have to try it out. This is also a very important thing. Yeah? If you think about doing something on your own, start your own business, it is very important, do a risk-reward calculation. And sometimes you can do things with relatively little risk, and those should be tried for sure. But if there's lots of risk involved, be very, very cautious. It's a big difference if you just want to, if you plan to do something where you basically only have to invest your own time, but you don't have any substantial costs to get the business going. That is a big difference. If you have to, let's say you want to open up a restaurant or something, you have to, like, yeah, get the place, you have to hire employees, you have to, yeah, establish chains where you buy food, whatever. It's just extremely complicated, and it is just a different thing if you just basically yeah, like I'm basically some sort of consultant. Yeah, if I do chess teaching, or if I write, writing is a different thing. But it's just like I have absolutely no investment. Like I have I have a little bit of office furniture or something like that, or the odd notebook that I have to buy, but this is very minor, and so the risk is relatively low. This is something that you can always try for a while and see if it works. So it's yeah, it's not a very high risk, let's say, but the reward can be very, very high if you absolutely enjoy what you're doing. So d4 maybe. You can also take e4. It takes e6, we will have a very strange pawn structure. Okay, so this is definitely very good for me, because at the end of all this I have the check. Yeah, here black is a pawn up and has a better structure. This is very nice for me. How do we play here? I want to make both rooks I want to have them as mobile pieces, so f6 covers king's side. Oh, I can take e3 with check, but I mean the rook ending is just very, very nice. Let's play the rook ending. Yeah, I've got a very nice pawn structure. It's always important. 2 pawn islands versus how many? 3. And the most important part of pawn structure is also in my favor, the pawn count, often forgotten. Slowly gaining a bit of space here. By the way, I had e4, right? Why did I play e4? Maybe because I was thinking about an important point that should be made following the discussion about starting your own business. A very important point to consider is where you live. That is a super important point, because the cost of living is so different all over the world. If you are able to work online and you live in a place that has very low cost of living, then you can do many things. I mean, that is a very important point. If you live in, let's say, Switzerland or Norway or some place like that, it's difficult. You have to earn so much money, in particular if you have clients outside of your home turf. I mean, this is just a matter of economics. It doesn't work. But if you live in a place that has very low cost of living, you can live like, I don't know, fantastically well, even if you don't earn all that much. Okay, yeah, thanks for the game, Stinkstiefel. Did we actually play in the German show? Did I make a mistake there? I might made a mistake there. I don't want to play people twice. Not sure about it. Okay, let's go, Kramnik student. I think we haven't played for a bit of a while. What do you have there? Ah, yeah, the Kramnik book. Okay. Okay, I think we had this on the board before, right? I'm fairly certain. H3, that is very conservative. Very, very conservative. Okay. Yeah, but it's okay. Yeah, H3 cannot be bad. Yeah, not certain about B6, but my idea here is to play against the C pawn. Rook C8 coming. Yeah, knight b4 is a little threat, not the most subtle threat ever, so he will very likely stop that. Keep it simple, knight f3 would be cool. Yeah, Yeah, I'm not forgetting this. This is my knight f3 is my main move, so I'm not going to ignore this idea, of course, to go for a keep it simple repertoire with knight f3. It's actually not that easy to be simple with knight f3 in some ways, because this is already something that I noticed while working on the d4 repertoire, because of all the potential move order intricacies. It's very, very difficult sometimes to simplify matters. Yeah, now White has to make up his mind. What is the idea? What's the plan? I have a fairly clear idea. Knight a5 and okay. He's giving me the bishop pair and in return gets to centralize the knight. Yeah, that is definitely a point. Yo, what to do here? My bishop here on e6 is not great. He wants to play knight, sorry, queen g3 maybe. Okay. What is he doing there? Bishop, no, knight f4. Okay. I don't mind that, honestly. The bishop on f7, I'm covering d5, stopping c4. I must be okay. The best response for black in the King's Gambit accepted after knight f3. Yeah, I recommend the Shallop defense, 3 knight f6. I recommend that in my repertoire for black, based on the Petrov, the fight e4 la Caruana repertoire. And it's not like I invented the thing. I mean, this line has been recommended now in various sources, and I think black is in very good shape. Very, very good shape. I mean, I'm not saying black wins or anything, but it is really, really nice for black. Boomeranger asks if I have a girlfriend. No, no girlfriend. Okay, so what happens here? What am I doing here? If I need to get rid of his knight, that is the thing. If I can get rid of his knight and activate my bishop, like to e4, that would be great. But how do I do that? I play maybe this one, cover f6, so that after g5, knight h5, f6 is not such a huge issue. Fonzie people says having a girlfriend increases cost of living dramatically. Yeah, all jokes aside, that is definitely a factor. If you have to support a family or have kids or so, yeah, just like quit your job, do do things on your own, start your own business. That is a different story, of course. You have other things to consider, just responsibilities that you have. It's important. Okay, this is not really something that I'm worried about much, this move, but I don't want to trade. Maybe I cannot avoid that. Maybe I cannot avoid the trade. Yeah, he's I mean, he's like purely defending the whole time, but it's not doing a bad job doing it. Yeah, knight c6 is a problem. It's really a problem. I'm not even so happy here, you know. It's not so easy to play all this. Knight c6 actually wins. He doesn't do that. He could have easily played knight c6 before. At 19 seconds, that is a problem. It's a bit odd what he did. Now a2 hangs. Really? Why do you go to d8? Wow. You spoiled a really good position there, I think, with white. I didn't do it right, really. Yeah, thanks for the game, Kramnik student. I missed bishop c1. Yeah, is bishop c1 such a big deal? Okay. Yeah, anyway, let's not analyze it so deeply. There are many other challenges. The Wolf Hunter, have not played him before. Let's do it. I got white, yeah. I should play. Sometimes we forget the easiest things. White starts the game. The Wolf Hunter is preferring to hunt wolves, not playing chess, I see. Why was bishop c1 such a big deal? I mean, the f4 bishop was always covered, right? Interesting question, Tom Petty. He asked if I have read Semkov's new book on the English. I have not read it. I'm very interested in it. I'm going to stop that game. I think he's not going to play. Carlsen Superlight. Okay. My Sick Duck. Yeah, played almost everybody here. Gambit 7, played him once. Yeah, once is not too often. Yeah, the Semkov book. I know he has some interesting lines in there, some creative lines, but I don't have the book yet. I'm currently looking forward to the Chigorin book. Yeah, I think I mentioned it before, by Ivan Sokolov and some other guy. It's really sorry. I really remember Sokolov. The other author is good though. So he's a good player. I'm going to check this quickly. I'm really feel bad that I don't remember who the other guy is. Oh man, their website is a complete mess. These Thinkers publishing guys. You never find anything, yeah? I can totally forget about it. I'm sorry. I just tried to figure that out. Thanks for the good feedback. Chess player 007 says that he likes my book. Keep it simple, E4. Yeah, Lali asked, what's up with me? Yeah, I'm fine. Had lots of work again in November, and I'm happy that all this is done. And now I'm starting new projects, but I'm not in a huge hurry, fortunately. Okay, this is something that I had on the board in Banter sessions. Ivan Zagado is the other guy. Yeah, that's good. He's a good player. Strong player. I had bishop e2 last week. Bishop c3, b takes, bishop a6, and black resigns basically. White has to play king f1, which makes the whole setup dubious, of course, but it's what he has to do. King f1. Only move. Yeah, I'm really, yeah, somehow people don't have that on the radar, this idea. Yeah, in that Chigorin book, they have, amongst others, they have my quote-unquote line in there, that somewhat weird line where black has that little space and is maneuvering around. Not really that great, but I've played it quite successfully over the years. And I'm really curious if they have some of my games in there. They should have, really, because I've played some I think theoretically relevant games. In particular, the only loss that I ever suffered in that line against Friso Naibu, I think, is showing exemplary play by White. Yeah, thanks a lot for the game Gambit 7. Okay, so wow, who is on? Are you crazy? Sorry, got a challenge here for a 60-minute game. The Wolf Hunter, that didn't work out some moments ago. Yeah, I played exactly the same game, yeah. I'm almost certain. Okay, the Wolf Hunter. I can dare to pre-move 1 e6. Worst that can happen is a French, which is almost, it felt like a death sentence to me. Now you're not playing again? Are you serious? Aha. There it goes. There he goes. Ah, the French defense. I don't do well there. Ah, yeah, the book reviews. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I will do one. Absolutely. I have to think about this. Maybe even tomorrow. I mean, I will definitely do one before Christmas, and it is just a matter of days, let's say, until I do it. Queen g4 here. That is rare. Ah, now I remember. You do this. I mean, c5 looks very obvious, but the point is that against a3 I don't have to take. There is queen to a5. I've looked at this a very long time ago. I mean, very long ago. I mean, that was probably back when Helmut Kohl was still Germany's chancellor. Yeah, who's the favorite for the final? MVL or Hikaru? No clue. Simply no clue. Isn't that a fairly open? I mean, don't even know the format. They play 2 classical games and then 2 rapid, then 2 blitz. Is that the format, what they do? I want e5. And now I can actually take e5. I think I can. Or d4 maybe. d4, right? That makes a lot of sense. I'm not sure really who's the favorite there. I mean, they are both really good in rapid and blitz. I don't know. Maybe I'll bet on MVL, but it's not based on anything in particular. Okay, so I'm a pawn up. Yeah, it looks like a very good position. I'm a pawn up and there is no particular problem. Now I have the better pawn structure. And now I got the D file. Have to be content with little things and build up on it. Oh, this one. Can I not just take c4 here? I think I can, right? It wins even more material. Okay. I'm not the greatest technical player ever, really, but that should work out. An exchange and 2 pawns is really quite a lot. Yeah, thanks for the game, the Wolf Hunter. So Dale B. Cooper. Let's play Dale B. Cooper. I actually know this guy. I played a tournament in 1996 in Hungary, and we played in the same tournament. It's been a long while. Okay, so we're going to play the French exchange, I guess. Yeah, it's a good defense for black. One of the best defenses against the French exchange. In the German show, there was the question if you need to be, if a high IQ is helpful for chess, and we didn't quite have a clear conclusion. Probably it is, but it wasn't so clear. Anyway, what I definitely think is very helpful is a good memory. That is helpful. I mean, you can do without. I know even grandmasters who have a really rotten memory for chess things. They're still very, very strong, but it is helpful to have a good memory, definitely. Dale B. Cooper, if he likes pie and coffee, that's a good hint. Yeah, that's Twin Peaks, right? Dale B. Cooper, Twin Peaks. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm giving up. I have given up the d4 pawn, but I hope, I think, I believe I will get to d5 and then should have the more active pieces. If I take on d5 here, it's a double attack, b7 and d6. Okie dokie. Let's have a look there. It's not totally clear that I should... Yeah, but it's good, yeah. Take on b7 is a good decision. I can do it. Okay, how to do it here? I mean, okay, let's play something that is definitely giving me a big advantage. This one with the tempo on the queen, the bishop is hanging, so I will win some sort of tempo. Queen takes, knight takes, bishop moves, and then b3 to keep my pawn. Okay. Okay, and now, how does he handle this? Take. That's difficult now for black because of the weak back rank, really, I think. Bishop e7, rook d7, that is not easy at all. Rook d7. He might have king f8. Oh, that's true. H3 95, bishop d4, yeah, is something. Huh? I don't know. Probably not the best way to play. Yeah, this is the simplest approach. Kramnik's games are more interesting than the last two World Championships matches, I guess. Yeah, that's definitely true. But let Kramnik play a World Championship match, and he will play the same boring stuff. It's just a matter of the format. It's not a matter so much of the players. And you can be pretty sure that if Kramnik would play like he did in Berlin at the end of the tournament, he would get completely killed by both Carlsen and Caruana. That is just not good chess at all. What he played there at the end of the tournament, it was just entirely unobjective. I mean, I absolutely am a huge fan of Kramnik's, always been, but what he played there at the end of the tournament, that was not good chess. Okay, now. Huh. Oh, it was stupid. That was a stupid idea. I don't need to be fair if I talk like that about him. It's just what it is. I mean, it's just what it is. He was just playing too crazy. That way you don't win against those people. Just too crazy. I currently don't offer any lessons. I'm sorry. I do have some students like from back in the day, but I don't take any new ones. Just too much other things to do. Yeah, I was completely. I mean, Kramnik played absolutely fine at the very beginning. That was fine. The game against Caruana, I also thought was fine. It was very sharp. It was very inspired. But he had some games later that it just doesn't work. Just doesn't work. Okay, Ruvinho. He tries a very sharp line against the French exchange. It's in fact quite risky. Let's see how it continues. Yeah, this is a risky line. It is that was, I'm not sure it was first seen, but one of the first games in this variation was played between Kasparov and Short in Tilburg 1991. Yeah, I really don't. I'm sorry if I offended anybody. It's just like the way the games have to be evaluated that Kramnik played near the end of the tournament. It was just too much. It was a bit too much risk. Yeah, of course. I mean, the Kramnik Caruana game was extremely important. I mean, if Kramnik wins this, and that was definitely possible, then the likelihood that he wins the tournament is very high. I mean, very high. He just like will probably be on a roll and continue winning. Yeah, I didn't do this right, honestly. I didn't do this right. Not happy here. Not too happy with my play. Here black is somewhat okay, and you shouldn't be. Yeah, it was a bit odd, yeah, in the Berlin candidates. I mean, it was just not what Kramnik played. He also had these weird press conferences, and I mean, I was there. I did the German commentary for a couple of rounds, and we had one or two of his meltdown games, and I mean, it was almost like a running gag during the commentary that how weirdly he would evaluate his positions, because what he sometimes stated in the press conferences was quite weird. I mean, even Ding, who's the most polite person ever, he would never really. I mean, there were some cases where Kramnik claimed he was better in positions where he was just worse, and quite obviously so. Where even Ding was like, what is this guy saying? And that was really strange. Okay. Let's see what I can do here. I mean, I'm not talking much about the games. They're just so yeah, I mean, it looks like I have a bit of a pool. I've got more space, but I don't quite see how to build up on that. Yeah, I felt my knight was odd on c3. I'm trying to improve that. Yeah, I think Ding was very polite about it. Yeah, and yeah, that's actually the real thing. Was he serious about his evaluations, or why was he? What was the point of it? I mean, why would you give evaluations that you don't think are right? Do you want to irritate the other guys, or is he just honestly thinking what he's saying? That's the thing. How simple or complex would a knight f3, g3, bishop g2, king's Indian attack repertoire be? It probably wouldn't be very complex, but how good is the king's Indian attack is the other thing. I mean, the problem is, if the king's Indian attack cannot, I mean, you can play it every single time, but there will be lines where you are just worse with white. It's just what it is. And that you cannot be worse with white. At least you cannot recommend this then. Yeah, that is the thing I always think. Kramnik always plays rather objective chess normally, but he didn't do so in that tournament. Okay, I think he's doing this nicely. Black is defending this very, very well. He's just taking a long time for it. Where are you going with your knight, brother? Now I take it. Yeah, this is a non-increment game, and he spent too much time. Does Kramnik still play the Petrov? I don't think so often. Okay, so let's get going. Cobra, why not? Yep. Okay, now you're getting there, Tom Petty. He asked the King's Indian repertoire. Yeah, you're right, of course. This is one of those cases. You have to play non-King's Indian attack. Yeah, if they play this and that, and then it starts to get complex. Yeah. Then it starts to get complex. You can also, if black plays c5, g6 stuff, then I also wouldn't like to go d3. You can do it, but it's not great. Dale B. Cooper. Yeah, we played the same tournament in 1996. That is definitely, I'm fairly certain that is true. I could be wrong with the year, like 1995 maybe, but I think 1996 is correct. Yeah, talking about Kramnik, we also have to say, and that's really a very important point. Kramnik is probably by a huge margin the most influential player of the last 20 years, maybe, or 15 years, when it comes to openings. I mean, he has invented the whole modern opening schemes, everything, basically. Yeah, we're talking about the Berlin, parts of the Petrov, Yeah, many white schemes with c4, knight f3, and so on. I mean, this is all Kramnik. We really, this is a huge. What he did to opening theory was basically revolutionize. It's a fantastic achievement. What he found. Yeah, what he found, what kind of ideas he was coming up with. I mean, choosing the Berlin against Kasparov was probably the most genius move ever in preparation. Absolutely. Yeah, Kramnik also popularized 9b4, the bayonet against the King's Indian defense. It's endless. It's really endless. I mean, he had so many innovations, concepts. It's fantastic. It was really funny when it is already some time ago. Oh, what the beep? What is he doing here? It's some time ago, maybe 15 years ago, 20 years ago almost. There was this opening repertoire according to Kramnik by Khalifman, and I'm not sure if he had a co-author. Anyway, yeah. This one, it was really funny because I was discussing with a friend if we should write exactly this book. It was really funny. We were thinking, let's do an opening repertoire with knight f3 based on what Kramnik plays. He had such a fantastic opening repertoire in the mid-90s, winning with knight f3, c4, yeah? And then like 1 or 2 years later, we were just toying with the idea. We didn't start to write or anything. And then Khalifman came up with exactly the same thing. It was really funny. Okay, so what is Cobra up to here? The mighty Cobra, but I've already won a big center pawn. Yeah, Kasparov probably should have played d3 against the Berlin, but I guess he was too principled to do it. I mean, I don't know if you ever studied the games, but the interesting thing is that Kasparov playing the main line against the Berlin, he obtained better positions against Kramnik, but he could never convert them. He didn't convert them. I mean, it was not. It was just like the nature of the advantages that Kasparov had. They were just playing into Kramnik's hands. He was defending those somewhat worse positions, fantastically well, and he couldn't win. Just couldn't win. Back then, I remember when that match was happening. I clearly remember when I was talking with co-workers at the time. I mean, they knew that I was a good chess player, and they asked me about it. Like, I know nothing about chess, but they always said, I know nothing about chess, but I know that Kasparov is very strong. Why is he losing this match? And then I tried to explain to them, like non-chess players, what Kramnik's strategy was, and I compared it to what Ali did in the Rumble in the Jungle against Foreman, the rope-a-dope. Yeah, like lean back into the ropes of the ring, let the other guy punch, and just don't fall. You just have to avoid getting knocked out, and then let the other guy frustrate himself, be frustrated. And that is, I think, a fairly good way to describe it. And people really understood the strategy then, because if they knew how Ali won that legendary boxing match, then I could picture how the Kasparov-Kramnik match went. It was just a very similar idea. Yeah, thanks for the game, Cobra. Okay, who else is on? We have Das Kapital lesen. Is that Engels? That's Engels in the picture, right? Okay, so what is he going to play? Yeah, we are in 15 minutes. We are nearing the end. Okay, I'm trying to play for e4. Black still has f5 here. That's for example is one of what Kramnik played also in the 90s. There were some famous games there. Yeah, Lasker played the Berlin defense. It's a very old opening, of course. But Lasker did not play the queen exchange line with knight d6. That was played back in the day as well. And maybe by Tarash even, not totally certain. Before Kramnik adopted the Berlin in the match against Kasparov, it was only played by one very strong grandmaster. That is Zoltán, I cannot, wrong pronunciation, Zoltán Almazsi, something like that, from Hungary. He played the Berlin before Kramnik did, and very successfully. It's funny, before the London match, I looked at the Berlin actually, because I saw that Almazsi was winning so often with it. But I never thought that it would be something that that Kramnik could adopt against Kasparov. I mean, that was absolutely sensational. And when we saw the first game, I was like, what? What is he playing there? Yeah, knight b7. Yeah. Lasker played the Rio de Janeiro variation with knight b7 in the Berlin. There were some pretty interesting games there. Okay, so here I'm a little bit better because of my better minor piece and the better mobilization. Black now should probably play knight f6. I think that is most. He didn't play knight f6. Okay. I felt that is a good idea. Now I have d5, and this opening of the position should benefit me. In particular, if we see that my bishop is stronger. This is, by the way, almost identical. Almost identical to Fischer-Taimanov. The same pawn structure. One of the classic Fischer-Taimanov games. I haven't played a4. I would play bishop c4 in a heartbeat, but he's got b5 available. If I take it a6, that's the problem. He's defending this okay, right? Yeah, that's an interesting point. Yeah, this should have Kramnik given Kasparov a return match. I never understood that discussion really. For me, it was completely clear that he would never give him a return match. Why would he? It makes no sense. It was not in any contract. Why should he simply give him a match? It made no sense to me. There was a clear process that that Kasparov simply didn't want to go into. Like I don't quite remember exactly what it was, but he could qualify for a match, and why shouldn't he qualify? I mean, I didn't see the point. The problem would be if in the contract stated there would be a return match, but there wasn't, simply. And why should Kramnik gift anything away? I never understood why people criticized him for that, really. I don't really want to take on b6, but I'm not really certain how to make more pressure. He's defending this quite well. I did not think that this I felt that this was a risky decision, which is probably not the case. Yeah, of course he can play rook d2. I don't really see anything good here, to be honest. Yeah, maybe this one. Yeah, back then they had no candidates tournament. They had no clear format, I think. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Kasparov should have played against, was it Ponomarev or Kazimjanov, somebody like that, and they didn't they didn't find anybody who was up to pay for that, I think. Now, if you take on b2, there's rook d8. That feels a bit risky. Here I'm very, very slightly better, but it is not really meaning all that much. Ah, that's a good move. Yeah, of course. He gets king g7. Okay, then I'm not slightly better. Absolutely not, no. That's a shame. Is that by the way, is that increment? I don't think it is, yeah. He's doing a good job here. I mean, I will try, but I'm not the kind of person who would play for flag here if he really defends well. This is very close. This is super close to the Fischer-Tamanov game. Just wonder. One thing is that there are no a pawns. I think he has a fortress. Yeah, okay. Yeah, well done. I think very well defended. I probably had something for sure. Like somewhere here. Here I should have something, but I sort of it fizzled away somehow. Yeah, thanks a lot for playing Das Kapital lesen. So who else? One more game? Yeah, one more game. Terrible Bad. Terrible Bad with a Godzilla picture. That's a good one. So let's go for one more game here. Terrible Bad. I had Rook A7 at some point, maybe. Yeah, possible. Yeah, I felt you did a good defense job there. Yeah, Terrible Bad does not play, having watched too many Godzilla movies. Nah, come on. We only have very limited time left, so I'm not going to wait for a long time. Let's play Don William. I want a pawn. Rook D1 one day somewhere. Maybe. Yeah, Godzilla. Yeah, I came across something funny yesterday or the day before. I took an interest into watches recently, and I learned that there's a Rolex watch in green, and it's called the Hulk. It's a nickname. I felt that was really funny, calling a watch the Hulk because of the green color. Anyway, so Don William. I try to do something here with delaying. Knight to f6. Can I do something with this approach? Probably not. Yeah, at the end we get the same lame Italian game, but white is better forever. It's just what it is. Yeah, the Italian game is really something you can recommend nowadays for white. It's just a very solid opening, quite it's always it's a little something, and you don't quite you have those positions that are not entirely equal. This is one of them. Not sure A takes, if that is a great decision. The pawn on b3 can be a long-term liability, really. Not much, but it can be. I should have played a5 maybe. Fix the pawn. Now b4. Yeah, the Italian is somewhat boring. Yeah, that's true. But it is, I mean, it's just like a little bit more boring for black. With white you can do little things. But my Blitz rating is over 2,500. Yeah, that's true. I could play the World Blitz in St. Petersburg. But I don't want to. I mean, I generally, in general, yeah, I would absolutely like to play the World Blitz Championships, absolutely, but it doesn't work out currently. It's just wrong time and wrong place. I mean, I would definitely like to go to St. Petersburg, don't get me wrong, but not on such a short notice and not right after Christmas. So what I said before, the b3 pawn could be an issue. I try to attack it. I went king h7, preparing rook g8. A fundraiser for what? For the St. Petersburg tournament. No, it's not really about money. It's just as I mentioned before, I worked a lot in November to the point where I felt, okay, I need a break. I just need a bit of time off, and this is what I'm doing starting next week. I'm just not working, no lessons and so on, and I'm not traveling to Russia when my intention was to relax there. So it doesn't work out at the moment. I would definitely like to go to St. Petersburg. I mean, that's certainly a cool destination. But that's a really cool move here by Don William. Maybe he just recaptures, huh? Maybe. Yeah, he did. He did. That's not so clear. Now it looks a little bit iffy, everything here, but I don't quite see how we can refute it. If I manage this, or I can go to f4. Let's not do that. I want to cover the d5 square so that a knight coming to d5 can be captured. That's something I want to do. Oops. He offered me a draw. No. Not on my watch. He's got 16 seconds. I mean, I really don't like to, that's called, go to flag will, but I mean, it's not such a bad position or something. Yeah, and he resigned. Yeah, thanks a lot, Don William. I think you played it well, really. The Italian with black is always some sort of pain, really. Yeah, anyway, I hope you enjoyed the show. It was a very chatty show, not so much about the games, but lots of questions, but I think it's fun. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll be back next week, basically at the same time on the Friday, and I also be on between Christmas and New Year's. So looking forward to have some good shows coming up soon. Yeah, thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye guys, till next week.